Hi everybody, I am super excited. I'm stoked to tell you about this new activity I have. It's been in my head for a long time now, and I finally decided to go forward and use it in my classes. It is a game, and it's like a deck building game, a card building game, a card collection game, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, if you're familiar with that. And the students will pretty much do anything to get expansion cards for their deck. And it is a math game, so it covers the topic of evaluating expressions, but if you really want to get into it with your higher level students, it's composition of functions. So depending on what level you're using this game with, you could go from evaluating expressions all the way up to composition of functions. So I'm using it with my college algebra students right now, and the conversations they're having about math are amazing. A student today just got one of these special cards, and they were saying like, oh, if you use this with the karate and magic, like that's probably the highest thing that could possibly happen. Okay, so do I have you excited yet? I can't, oh man, I wish I could just put through the screen how excited I am. I hope you stick with me for this whole video because I have a lot to cover and I didn't want to do a whole bunch of separate videos. I think that's annoying. So we are going to start with what you get. So first of all, you will get a direction sheet that you can print out for the students. I accidentally did mine that it's a flip this way instead of a flip the other way. They're not going to want to read this, but I do give each group a copy. That way if they have questions throughout the game and I can't get to them quick enough, it's here. They won't need this after the first time they play because they'll know. So it's there. Then there is the starting deck. So you will need to print that. And there's 3 pages of it. So it'll be a total of 21 cards. So we have this type of card, which is the robot. You have 7 different robots. And then you can put attachments on your robots. So these 2 pages are identical. You're going to have 2 of each of these. So there's 14 total, 7 of each, or 2 of each kind, 7 unique ones. So really what your students doing, this game is about bot fighting. So they're building bots to fight each other. So you have your base of your robot, and then you put attachments on them to make them more powerful. So you'll need that. Optional is to print a few pages of the backs of the cards. So like function fighters if you want your cards to look all fancy. This is optional. I did it because I'm a little Miss Fancy Pants. All right. In addition to that, you're going to need to purchase some items. I apologize for that, I know, but it's kind of a necessary evil with this game, but I promise you, if it gets your kids to do this stuff, it's totally worth the money, and you only have to buy it once. It's not something you have to buy year after year. So the first thing and the most expensive are the dice. What I would do is a Google search. The sun is in my eyes. A Google search for pound of dice. If you go on Amazon or something, you can get a pound of dice. And what you'll need, let me adjust you here. You're going to need, oh, don't look yet. That's a surprise. A 4-sided die. It looks like a pyramid. This is a D4. The students find this hard to read. Do you know that that's a 2 that's furled? Okay. You're going to need the one you're familiar with, the 6-sided die, the D6, D8, D10, and D12. Okay? You'll need those one set for each group of students. So, and not per class. You know what I mean? That's just one class because you can reuse them in other classes. So if I have a class of, say, 30 students, and the worst case scenario is they would break up into groups of 3, I would need 10 sets of this. Best case scenario, I need 5 sets. All right, that's not too bad. A pound of dice is about $10 nowadays. All right. The other thing, sorry, you're going to need are something to keep score with. I have bingo chips here. Can you see them? Bingo chips. You could use beans. Go to the store and buy some dry beans, buttons, or just pencil and paper. They just use tally marks as they score. I find that students like to physically get something when they have a score rather than just making a mark on a paper, but it really doesn't matter. The other thing I recommend, and it's really not super critical, but things will go so much smoother for you if you buy card sleeves. These are super cheap. I think a pack of 100 of them was $1 something. It's they're 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches on Amazon. Ultra Pro or something. I don't know. Card sleeves. Okay, or you can go to a game shop, maybe get a whole bunch for nothing. I don't know. So anyway, coming back to this, to make the game, and we'll go over how to play too. You're going to cut all these out. I had my students do it. Once it's done the first year, that's it, because at the end of the year, you'll collect the cards back from them, and you'll have them for your students for next year. So these would all get cut out. These would all get cut out. And then, if you can get it, I just went on social media, and I asked my friends if they just had old playing cards lying around. I don't even care if it was full sets, because that's not what I'm using for. And wow, did they come through for me. So I have a bunch of playing cards here that are mismatched that I use. So that was free. So now what you're going to do, after you have everything cut out, right, you have your cards cut out, you're going to sleeve them. And to do that, you're going to take a sleeve here, put one of these cards in. I'm going to sleeve this card. Doesn't matter what it is because it's getting covered up. The only reason I do this is to make the card more sturdy, so that it's easier to shuffle and it's easier to hold in your hand and they're not like flopping over. All right, then you take the card and you put it in there on one side of it, so I can no longer see the king. And then I put the card back on to cover up this side of it, and voila. So I did that with all the other cards. And now you have a deck of cards that's nice and neat, and watch to shuffle. It's so cool. It feels nice. Yeah? Yeah. All right, so there's that. This is what each kid will start with. So I keep these stored in my classroom in a folder, an envelope with their name on it, and then there's a basket, you know, period 1, and then there's all their function fighter cards are in there. Okay, there's that. Then there's also another page of cards that I didn't cover yet. It really doesn't matter what color you print it on. I print it on a different color, so when these are the cards the kids will earn. So whatever you want them to do to earn it, homework assignment, tests, just being well behaved for a sub, whatever it is that you want to reward them with, this is a reward. This works better than candy, and you're not going to have those sugar on patrol parents coming after you saying, you gave my kid sugar. I didn't give them any sugar. So, you have this. The reason you can tell the difference is the original set of cards has a little star in the bottom. So those 21 will have stars. These that they earn do not. So it's not important to put it on a different color, but I do that because of the wow factor. When the kids get it, it's like, yes, I got a goldenrod piece of paper. Then you sleeve them as well. These you keep to yourself because these you'll hand out like candy. All right, so, all right, who did their homework every day this week? Here you go, one for you, Johnny, one for you, Annie. Okay? So, let's go over how to play. I'm so excited. So, these cards off to the side, they didn't earn any of those yet, right? They're just learning how to play. There is a separate video that you can show to the students on how to play, or you could just simply show them yourself. One thing I found to be fantastic is pull a few kids into homeroom if you have that, teach them how to play, and then spread them out in your class, and they'll teach everyone else for you. That's a ticket. All right, so we shuffle them. My thing is a mess here. You want the dice and the bingo chips where everyone can reach them. Everyone has their own deck in front of them, and it's for 3 to 6 players, and they just shuffle it, put it face down in front of them. Let me grab my rule document. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Here we go. So, 21 cards, dice, chips, shuffle. Okay, so there's 3 types of cards. I probably should have went over that before we did this. I think I did. we have the robot cards, and at the top it says robot. And then there's attachment cards. It says attachment at the bottom. In the cards they can earn is the third type. That says special along the side. So the cards they can earn, we'll go over those as well. They could earn more robots, they could earn more attachments, and they could earn special cards. We'll go over those later. We're just going to go over the base deck for now. So in the base deck, there's only the two types of cards, robots and attachments. I'm going to shuffle again. All right. So we start by drawing 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Once you have your hand of cards, if you can build a robot, you must. So I can build a robot. We'll go over what happens if you can't. So to build a robot, you have to put a robot down and give him 2 attachments. The order matters. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see them. The order of the attachments will matter. All right, let's go over the parts of the card here. This tells me what die I have to roll. This is called the robot's power. So there's a 4 there. I have to use the 4-sided die. Let me roll that. I got a 2. So 2 gets substituted in here. Can you see that? My banana peel. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I take the result of this one, which was 4, and I put it here. 4 plus 2 is 6. So my overall attack power is 6. Okay? Everybody's going to do that. Everyone's going to have the overall attack power of their particular robot. So mine was 6. That's actually pretty low. I probably lost. So let's just say I came in first place. If I did, I get 2 bingo chips. If I came in second place, I get 1 bingo chip. If I came in third place or worse, I don't get anything. Okay, so that's how you'll keep score. Everyone cleans up now. So these get discarded. And now you draw until you have 6 in your hand again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Let's pretend I didn't have those 2, because I want to show you what happens if you can't build a robot. So if you have a hand like this, that's all attachments. Attachment, 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 attachment. I have no robots. I can't build one. What you do is you discard any one you want. I'll discard this one and then draw again. Oh, I still can't. It's another attachment. So I discard again. Draw another one. Now I can. Now I have a robot that I can do it. So that's what you do if your hand isn't working out for you. All right, we went over the fighting phase, and we went over the scoring phase, and we went over the cleanup phase. So that's all good. Now, how does the game end? The game ends on whatever the teacher decides. So at the beginning of the students playing, you could say, here's a pile of chips. When it's gone, whoever has the most is the winner. That's one option. Another option is whoever earns 12 chips first is the winner. You can make up some number. Another option is, well, we're going to play until there's 5 minutes of class left. Whoever has the most chips at that time is the winner of their group. So those are your options, because I know you have to be flexible with teaching. And I'll be honest, I don't like when games end at different times. So like that group's done and this group's still going, and then it's like, what do you do with this group? And it's just like if they all end, we're all ending at 10:15. I think that's better classroom management. It's just a little bit easier. Okay, so, if your draw pile runs out, we should go over that. So, I have this, and now it's time for me to build a new robot, and I can't draw up to 6. You just shuffle your discard pile, pretend I shuffled, and then just keep going, okay? So you gotta shuffle it. I think that's everything that I wanted to go over there. Let's talk about these. So, in the first expansion pack, this will come with what you purchased. You will get a D10 robot and a D8 robot that you can hand out. So you can make as many copies of this paper as you want. You know what I mean? Just copy, 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 hand out as much incentive as you need to there. All right, so we have those. You also get two new attachments. One is called Blinding Light, and that adds 6 to it. And we have the Saw. So it has a multiplier of 3, but then it subtracts 4. So that's quite a gamble. You got to roll high for this to be worth anything, really. All right, then our special cards. So the re-roll, this can be used at any time. The students can, they rolled a 1. They re-roll. So they got to keep the second roll. So if they rolled lower the second time, too bad, so sad, sister, you're keeping it. Here's another one. This thing can be used at any time. So you rolled low and you had this in your hand. You could play it. By playing it, I mean setting it face up next to your robot. This just adds 1 to your roll. You rolled a 3. I want it to be a 4. You realize that you'd win if this were 1 higher. Play it right then. Then you win. This plus 2 to the power. So if you have a robot that's a D10 robot, well, now you get to roll the D12. So this lets you increase the initial power by 2. So you just use the next dice up, next die up. And this one is very powerful. I don't know if I overdid it here, but this allows a robot to have 3 attachments. So normally you build with 2. This allows 3. So those are the expansion pack. Today I gave them out to a group that worked well with their assignment today, and every student was engaged and on task, and it was just, I'm telling you what, these kids will do anything to get these cards. I think I covered everything. More expansion packs will be coming out so that you can, keep the deck fresh and everything. As far as when we play this game, I know it's so tight to begin with. Like, when do you have time to play this game and to keep them interested in it? Like, oh, great, I'm earning these cards, big deal, but we're never playing the game. We play it when there's a lot of students absent, when there's a disruption to the schedule, like we have an early dismissal and the class is only like 20 minutes long. Or I will say to them, this is my plan to get through for the week. If we get through that early Friday afternoon, this is what we're doing. So those are some options that you could use for the game. So I hope your students love it as much as I do. It is such a pleasure to come to work. It's paper and these kids are fighting over it. So I'd love some feedback. I'd love to hear how it's going. If something's not quite working out for you, if you have some feedback for me, I would love it. So enjoy. I hope your kids love it.